What happened at 35,000 feet changed everything. The cabin lights dimmed softly as the plane rocked through turbulence somewhere over the Midwest. It was well past midnight, one of those hours when nerves fray and patience runs on fumes. Most of the first-class passengers were already half asleep, earbuds in, reclined in their plush seats. But in 1A sat someone impossible to ignore, Malcolm Pierce. Billionaire tech mogul. Charming, arrogant, and unapologetically blunt. His voice cut through the drone of the engines as he confronted a flight attendant over, of all things, a cup of coffee. "I'm not asking for a miracle," he said, his voice cool but pointed. "Just a cup of coffee that isn't burnt." "Is that really so hard?" Emily Brennan, the stewardess on duty, forced a tight smile. In her early 40s, she was a seasoned pro, steady hands, polite words, thick skin. But tonight, she was running on nothing but adrenaline and stale peanuts. The turbulence wasn't helping. Neither was Malcolm Pierce. "I'll get you a fresh one, Mr. Pierce," she said through clenched teeth. "Just give me a moment." "You've had plenty," he shot back. "What I haven't had is service worthy of what I paid for this seat." Nearby passengers stiffened. Some looked away. Others subtly leaned in. Emily turned on her heel and marched to the galley, muttering under her breath. She wasn't just frustrated with him. It had been hours of constant requests, attitude, and little indignities. He was just the final straw. By the time she returned with the new coffee, Malcolm barely glanced up, too busy tapping away on his phone. He muttered, finally, loud enough to sting. Emily froze. Just for a second. A breath too long. "You're welcome," she said, voice dipped in sarcasm. He looked up slowly, one brow raised. "Excuse me?" "You heard me," she said flatly. Another jolt of turbulence made the tension feel almost alive in the air. But neither backed down. Emily braced herself against the galley wall, hands gripping the counter. Her mind reeled, not just from the interaction, but everything leading up to it, a teenage son who wouldn't get up for school, her mother's missed doctor's appointment, the unopened bills stacked on the counter at home. Meanwhile, Malcolm Pierce sat in his throne-like seat, sipping coffee like a man who had never struggled a day in his life. His tech empire, his money, his magazine covers, everything about him screamed untouchable. She passed his row again. He waved her over. "This is still bad," he said, holding up the cup. "Don't take it personally, unless of course, this is personal. Maybe coffee's just not in your skill set." That did it. Her training screamed at her to walk away. Stay composed. Be the professional. But her heart was racing. Her fists clenched. "Is there anything else I can get for you, Mr. Pierce?" she asked, voice calm but sharp, "or have I ruined your evening enough already?" He smirked. "You tell me. You seem to be the expert at ruining things." A passenger gasped. Another muttered, "Oh my God." And then, without warning, snap. Her hand moved on instinct. The sound of the slap cracked through the cabin like thunder. His head snapped to the side. His sunglasses, clearly for style, not need, tilted off his nose. Silence. Passengers gawked. Someone dropped a tablet. The world seemed to stop. Emily's hand tingled. Her chest heaved. Her professionalism? Gone. Malcolm turned back to her. No rage. No threats. Just a slow, deliberate smile. "Bold move," he said. "You're going to regret that." She stepped back, trembling. Her mind spiraled, suspension. Termination. Lawsuit. Malcolm stood, smooth and composed. 2 minutes, he said, then disappeared behind the curtain near the cockpit. Whispers rippled across first class. Emily stood frozen. The other attendant whispered nervously, "He's asking for the passenger manifest." Her stomach dropped. He returned minutes later with a notebook and pen. Everyone fell quiet. He didn't sit. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "I owe you an apology for the scene earlier. But maybe this moment has something to teach us." Emily's heart sank. "A speech? Really?" "We all saw what happened," he said. "Someone who's expected to serve others snapped. And while I don't condone it, I understand it. Because this isn't just about her, it's about how pressure builds up in silence until someone breaks." He looked at her. For the first time, really looked. "I believe in accountability. For her, and for myself." He held up a page from his notebook. "This is a $5,000 donation to a non-profit of her choosing. To remind myself that even when I feel disrespected, I can respond with grace." Gasps echoed. He tore out another page. "And this, $5,000 to an organization that supports flight crews. Because this job is thankless, and most of us can't imagine the toll it takes." Then he raised one final page. "And every passenger in this cabin? You're getting an $11,000 travel voucher. On me." Cheers. Applause. Disbelief. But Malcolm wasn't done. He turned to Emily. "Miss Brennan, may I ask you something?" She nodded, barely. "What made you snap? Was it me? The turbulence? Or something deeper?" Her throat tightened. "It's everything," she said softly. "The stress. The pressure. Feeling invisible. You were just the last straw." Malcolm nodded slowly. "Thank you. For your honesty." He offered a hand. She hesitated, then took it. Her grip was shaky. "Let this remind us," he said to the cabin, "that power isn't in wealth. It's in how we treat people. And sometimes, the bravest thing we can do, is show compassion." Applause thundered. Emily stood, dazed. Not humiliated, just overwhelmed. Back in the galley, she unfolded the papers he'd handed her. Donation receipts, and a handwritten note. "Sometimes it takes a moment of chaos to remind us what matters most. I hope this night inspires you to take care of yourself the way you take care of others." It hit her harder than the slap ever had. When the plane touched down, Malcolm gathered his things. He paused one last time. "Take care of yourself, Miss Brennan. You're stronger than you think." He disappeared into the crowd. Later, while tidying the cabin, she found a business card left on his seat. On the back, he had scribbled, "Let me know if you ever need help chasing your dreams." That night, driving home, she realized something. It wasn't about the slap. Or the speech. Or even the money. It was about being seen. And maybe, just maybe, that moment at 35,000 feet had changed more than just the flight.